So if you're in the market for selling your home, today's video is for you. We're going to talk about what your expectation should be for putting your home on the market with a quality real estate professional. We're going to go through some of those new rules that you're hearing about that NAR is making realtors abide by. So we're going to go through all that. Don't want to miss this one. That's coming up next. Hey everyone, it's Matt here once again with the Matt Allen Real Estate Team. Hope you're having a wonderful day today. If you've been following along, I just finished some videos representing a buyer, what you can expect from me as a real estate professional, 22 years in the business. And I thought it might be prudent for me to do the same thing as a listing agent. A listing agent is quite different than a buyer's agent, obviously. And today we're going to go through the steps from the time you reach out to me and say, hey, I think I'm getting ready to put my house in the market, to the time we meet, to the time we discuss the house, and then take it all the way through the marketing until we get the home on the market for sale. Hey, and if you're new to this station, I would highly encourage you to hit that like and smash that subscribe button, as I like to say. Uh, get that notification bell set so that any new videos you'll be notified of, especially if you are in the Central Florida area and looking to buy property or sell property or just need some questions answered. I'm more than happy to help. If you look in the description, you've got all my contact information and some useful links. So definitely take advantage of that. To start out with, we're going to talk about making that initial contact with me, saying, hey, I think I'm interested in putting my house on the market. The very first thing I'm going to do is really try to set up a face-to-face appointment. And it's typically 10 to 30 minutes where I can stop by, introduce myself in person, because that's the kind of agent I am. I want to get to know who I'm working with, see if it's a good fit for both of us, and then take a tour of your house. That's going to be the first thing. I want to see the house. I want to see what things you have in the house that's going to make this house marketable. I also want to get to know you as a person. Why is it that you're looking to move? Are you looking to uh, downsize, upsize? Are you looking to move out of town, out of state? And what is your motivation for selling? Are you getting a new job? And really, it's just to kind of get to know you. I'll tell you a lot more about myself too. I'm a resident in the Orlando area, so I'm going to share information with you on that as well. So that's the very first thing, is we got to set up that face-to-face meeting. Now, once we have that meeting set, that's when I start sending you information ahead of time. I call it my pre-marketing package, and I'm going to email that to you traditionally, unless you need me to mail it to you. But it's going to have some marketing information in there, a little bit about me to give you an idea of what my experience level is. Most importantly, though, I'm going to send you what my customers have to say about me. That's most important, because proof is in the pudding, as I say. You really want to know what my other clients think, and I send you a lot of information on that. I can even provide you names and telephone numbers of people I have worked with, so you can get it right directly from them. So pre-marketing package is the key to starting the process. I tend not to like to surprise people, so I don't bring that all to the listing appointment that we have set up, and spend a lot of time going through that during that time. I really want to spend time knowing what your expectation is, where you're going, how you're going to get there, and start to take a look at your house and build what I like to call the story for your house. We're looking for how we can sell that house to the appropriate people, and also to come up with a strategy on how we're going to go ahead and accomplish that. Now, during that time with that face-to-face meeting and we're touring the house, I highly encourage you as a seller to highlight any and all things that you think are important to that property. Remember, this is going to be the first time I'm or any other real estate professionals coming into your house. So there's a chance we're going to miss some of the highlights. We're looking around for the first time. Now, you've lived in the house for could be multiple many years. So you know your house best. Make sure you highlight things you've improved on, things that are upgrades, things that are you believe are going to be good for selling the house. And a good realtor should be writing some of these things down, at least keeping track of what you feel is important to the house. So make sure you do that. So now I've taken a tour of your house. I know what you feel is highly upgraded in your house, what things you feel are important to value. I've also taken notes, so I have an idea as well of what I feel is going to help sell that house. And now we start part two of the uh, sit down, the listing presentation, whatever you want to call it. But it's really to sit down and go through three key things. First, we want to talk about price. How are we planning to price the house? And obviously, most homeowners have an idea of value of their house. I will talk about value. I don't like to give a true valuation of the house until I've seen everything. I do a preliminary just to give you an idea based on solid numbers, what has been selling in the neighborhood or in the surrounding area that are like kind type of property. So I do provide that to you. But we're really working on value. What are we going to price our house at? Are we going to price it at market value? Are we going to price it below market value? Or are we going to try to hit a home run and price it way above market value with no time restraints? So that's really important. Next, we want to look at conditions of the house. Is there anything we need to overcome to be able to successfully sell that house? And I'll give you some examples. Let's talk about plumbing. Does the house need to be replumbed? Do the ACs need to be updated? A big one is roof. Is the roof outdated or is it even insurable? So we need to look at that as far as what things we may need to overcome, whether it's through replacement, or is it through some sort of compensation? That has to be established during that meeting, or at least talked about during that meeting, with the intent that we're going to come up with a plan in our next meeting. Now, the last component of our meeting, and certainly not the least, and probably one of the most important, is going to be to talk about marketing. Now, we're going to be competing with houses in the area that are like kind, similar to your house. How do we make your house more attractive than the others and get people to make offers, which is ideally what we want to do, is to make that offer and come to an agreement on a price, terms, basically signing a contract, which is what we all want, right? So we go through a lot of talk about marketing, not only what I've sent you previously of things that I do, but also, and this is probably the time we need to kind of bring this up, with the new changes in the National Association of Realtor. You hear it called NAR all the time. There was a settlement, and there's some new changes that we have to do in the multiple listing service, where everything gets pushed from. We can no longer offer compensation to a buyer's broker. Now, to be honest, a large portion of buyers come from cooperating agents, meaning that, you know, initially I'm going to send your listing out to anybody I have that might potentially be a buyer, but it also gets pushed out to all the agents throughout the MLS system, and they are enticed to bring their buyer to your property to make an offer. Now, there's certain ways they can be compensated. We're not going to go through that all today, but there are some choices. We have to make those decisions ahead of time of how we're going to either compensate or not compensate a buyer's agent. And that is going to become very important here over the next probably 6 months to a year. Once we've got that all completed, we kind of leave it open for question and answer period. I'll spend as much time as I need to with you guys to figure out exactly what you're uncomfortable with. Are there questions that you've had lingering? And then really come up with a marketing strategy moving forward. How are we going to get this house on the market? What's our timing going to be? What improvements do you need to do, or prep work, or looking at staging your house? All of those things are discussed through the process. And I'm not going to go through each and every one of them, but we certainly have a list of things that we would need to accomplish during that meeting, or schedule a second meeting or a third meeting. I am happy to meet with you as many times as possible, and any agent should, even before signing the listing agreement. They also should be providing you with a copy of that listing agreement so you have it to review. You certainly are within your rights to take some time to look at that. I know a lot of agents push to have you sign that day, and if they're confident in their services, that shouldn't be an issue for you to look at it, make sure you're comfortable with it, and then sign it when you're ready to sign it. Now, once we've answered all of the questions, we've had all of the meetings, everybody's comfortable and signs the listing agreement, that's when we take it to level two. And that is basically preparing your house to be put on the market. And I'm going to do another video on that real soon, so you have an idea of what exactly that may entail. I've got a lot of information on that. If you are interested, message me below. I have a whole document of 100 mistakes sellers typically make when putting their house in the market, and that may help you, with a couple of things you were thinking about doing and maybe shouldn't do, or vice versa. So I hope this was helpful. If you have questions, again, drop them down below. Thanks for your time, and we will see you on the next video. Bye bye.